Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, folks over at Yahoo Autos are showing off this little photograph of a parent McLaren P1/4. Yes, the MSO group underneath the McLaren umbrella has apparently been working on a four-door sedan to go with the current McLaren lineup. This may be thought of as a little bit of sacrilegious when it comes to this particular brand. That being said, if this four-door sedan sells well enough and in larger numbers than the current edition of the vehicles they have, it could mean a lot of money in the coffer to build the really cool stuff. Not saying that this four-door sedan isn't going to be cool, but a lot of people, much like think back in the Porsche days when the Panamera came out and also the Cayenne, yes, people were very upset about those two vehicles, but we'll wait and see. There's a lot of smoke about this thing, where there's smoke is fire, so I'm assuming we may hear more about this coming up maybe in Geneva. Next up on the list, folks over at the Jeep brand let out some interesting information about the next generation Jeep Wrangler. The current edition, the JK version of the Wrangler, can be bought, and a Mopar edition parts can actually be put onto the vehicle to make it into a pickup truck. Well, apparently this has been popular enough, not to mention the Jeep faithful has screamed loud enough, and apparently one of the heads at Jeep says yes, there will be a pickup truck version in the next generation of the Jeep Wrangler coming up in the next couple of years. Cannot wait to see that new Wrangler, even though pretty certain it's going to look like the old one. They've changed very little over the past several years. Next up on the list, the folks over at Jeep as well let out some interesting situation with the folks over at Truck Yeah. TruckYeah.com actually put a guy to the fire, put his feet to the fire, and asked him, will there ever be a Hellcat engine inside of a Jeep vehicle? That guy very excitedly said absolutely. In fact, I can put you on the list. The production will start in 2017, and the vehicle will go on sale later that same year. Now, no word whether that Hellcat engine is going to make 707 brake horsepower, because the all-wheel drive system in the Jeep Grand Cherokee possibly can't handle that. I may be thinking outside of this thing. It may be able to handle it just fine, but I'm assuming it probably can't. They may have to detune it a tad bit, but we got a whole year of speculation. I'm assuming Jeep is going to let out a whole lot more information in the next several weeks. Next up on the list, Acura is showing off this flight of fancy, the brand new Precision Concept. Now, the chances of this vehicle ever seeing the light of day in production are slim to none, but you can look very close at a lot of the little tidbits, including the grille, which one of the heads of Acura claims will be the new face of Acura heading forward. As far as that's concerned, this four-door sedan is pretty stunning from front to back. The Acura executive actually made a little bit of funny when he was talking to the folks over at Autoline.tv, claiming that they've always wanted to build a four-door NSX, and this is it. Granted, they did say that this vehicle will never ever go into production, but assuming if enough Acura fans scream loud enough, they may build something close to this, so we'll see and hopefully hear a lot more about the Precision Concept moving forward. Next up on the list, folks over at BMW brought the brand new M2 to the Detroit Motor Show. Now, this vehicle's debuted at other auto shows, but this has got some interesting news. That is the pricing of this machine. Now, if you don't know about the M2, this thing is quite the little hot rod. Front engine, rear wheel drive. The engine is 3 liters, inline 6 with twin turbochargers, making 343 brake horsepower and 365 pounds-feet of torque. That can be either shipped through a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed automatic. 0 to 62 comes in at just 4.2 seconds, with a top speed that's electronically limited to 155 miles an hour. The exciting part is this vehicle will be in BMW dealership showrooms in April of this year, so just in a handful of months. And the starting price is probably the deal of the century. To get all this vehicle and be able to do what you could do with this car, which is probably create a lot of havoc, it starts off at $52,695 US, with $995 hunked in for destination fees. Yes, a very good deal indeed for this little German hot rod. Next up on the list, the folks over at the Viper Group. Apparently we know exactly what's killing off the Viper. You may remember last year when we talked about Lotus having a little issue inside of their lineup, not having enough airbags inside of their machine to actually appease the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Apparently that's what's happening with the Viper. It sells in such low volume that putting this much money about adding airbags, the possibility of them not fitting into the machine, as it has a very tight cockpit as well. So we're not 100% sure if this is the official deal, even though that's what a lot of people are pointing towards. That being said, 2017 will be the final year of the Viper. Now, if you're really sad about this, I may have some good news. Sergio Marchionne was talking with a bunch of journalists at the Detroit Motor Show and let something slip. Now, obviously, Marchionne doesn't let a whole lot slip. He lets what he wants to be heard. And he came out and said there may be a return for the Viper coming soon. Apparently, Maserati is working on a brand new FR two-door coupe platform, and they might want to spread out the cost of development and the cost of this platform, at least across a couple of different brands. We may see a new Viper coming soon. Now, in my mind's eye, I am assuming that the 8.4-liter normally aspirated V10 is DOA in favor of probably some forced induction V8 or a forced induction 6. Again, we'll have to wait and see on all those fronts, hopefully coming up in the next couple of years. Last up on the list, the M Sport version of the brand new Fiesta. This is the new World Rally weapon for the M Sport brand. World Rally Championships is going to be firing off in Rally Monte Carlo in just a couple of days of the taping of this program. In fact, if you're here stateside, MAV TV is going to have the first stage live on MAV TV. Also, the last power stage will be live on MAV TV as well. Gorgeous looking brand new Fiesta. They will be bringing back Mads Osberg to actually pilot this machine, along with a newcomer, Eric Camilli, who will be fighting in the second version of this machine. Hopefully they've got some stuff for those Volkswagens and the new Toyotas and all the other goodness that's going to be coming in Rally Monte Carlo this year. So going to be a fun year of the WRC, happening in just a handful of days. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.